A video clip of African American men and women helping a family member remove items from her home has become a tool of misinformation. This video has gone viral and it's perpetuating harmful narratives about Black people during this devastating time in Los Angeles. You literally see the fire behind you. The reality of the situation is that this woman was being evacuated and rallied this group of people to help her remove items out of her home.
Basically, the folks who live here and their friends emptied this house out of a bunch of their stuff just in case the fire got here. I'm going to talk to Elijah. You live here. You live here as well? Okay. What's your name?
Tiandra.
Tiandra. I'm Chip. We were talking to Elijah about this a little bit ago. You guys got a lot of your friends. Kind of tell us how this all came together. You got a lot of stuff out. What did you get?
I don't know what they got. They just helped. I can't even tell you what they got. It just went up in flames and they got what they could get. I can't tell you what they got. It's burned in the back and around there. It's not even livable. This the city. This the city they put on for me. That's exactly what they did.
So the backyard is. Did your house get any fire in it?
It's inside. It's burnt.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't see it when I looked in. So it's actually got some.
Yeah, it's on the left side. Hello.
So you guys were here when it caught fire?
We stayed until the last minute.
So tell me what happened, how that played out.
They told us to leave, and we got what we could. We have dogs, we have animals. We moved that stuff, and then we waited to see. We waited across the street, and that rude guy right there, I yelled at him and cussed him out because he act like he don't understand. Like, we trying to get our stuff. You going home tonight? We not. And we just got what we could get. That's all we can do. We got to start over.
And how many of y'all live here?
Me and my 3 kids.
You don't know where you're going next?
Nope, but I'm going somewhere.
And tell me, how did you get all these folks? These all friends, family?
They are. My brothers work for the city of Pasadena. They wet the vegetation before the firefighters came. The Compton firefighters is the only ones who really put the water out here and everything. The city of Pasadena employees wet the vegetation and prevented it from getting all the fire out here. The firefighters didn't do that. The Compton, this truck right here, the 105 from Compton, they the ones who came and put the fire out.
Elijah, were there any things you were like really wanted to get that you were able to retrieve?
He got his animals out. He got his asthmatic mama out. He got everything he could get out. He got his school stuff out. He got out everything that he could. The only thing that we don't got is our appliances and bedroom stuff. All that stuff could be replaced. He got pictures. We got kids about to go off to college. He got diplomas. He got everything that was of value to his mother. That's what he did.
Very glad to hear that. Thanks for talking to us, and best of luck with everything. As far as what about the folks? Do you know the neighbors here?
They left maybe earlier in the day.
Did you see that? Was that when you came out?
We wet all of the neighbor stuff trying to save it. This lady right here, we wet her stuff too. We try to save it. We try to do what we can, but unfortunately, like this just what it is.
And you guys are we were talking to some neighbors down the street. Like, you guys are kind of in the city area. Were you expecting the fire? Did you ever expect the fire to reach here?
Yes, because one, because of the high winds. 2, because of all this dry vegetation. And that's unfortunate because we have all these laws and restrictions about the no watering. But had this stuff not been dry like this, maybe it wouldn't have been like that. We got all these limitations. You can't water. You can only water a little bit. So what? But if it was wet and not as dry, maybe all this wouldn't have engulfed in flames.
Best of luck to you, and Elijah, best of luck to you too. You can see they're not the only ones dealing with this. We'll come over here. Like I said, we're on the Altadena side. Over here is the Pasadena side of the street. I believe that's Pasadena side of the street. I was told this is kind of the dividing line between the cities. But you can see there's somebody standing in front of what, I don't know if that's actually a home there, or maybe just that may not be a home. I can't tell. Or if that's just some sort of storage area. But a lot of fire coming from that street. And then we were on earlier, just kind of the direction that Andre's pointing right now, where that black smoke is, down.
Because of deep-seated prejudice, many people rush to call these people looters. Their faces are everywhere. Here's the thing. This reaction ignores the rich history of Altadena's Black community. Like, during the Great Migration Altadena and Pasadena became havens for African American families because they could not buy homes in other parts of Los Angeles. The area grew so significantly after World War II, they affectionately called it BlackAltadena. So for the past few days, this historic community has been leveled like several others. Now, while there's people experiencing loss all over our city, the fact that celebrity homes has been the focal point is wrong. It's wrong. There are whole communities of people that are being ignored. It is anger causing to see people mislabel folks that are just trying to help each other. A young black man was trying to put out a fire in his neighbor's home, and they talked to him through the ring cam like, who are you? What are you doing? This man ended up saving their home while they had been evacuated. You know, it's stuff like that where it's like people have their idea about who you are based off of how you look, and then these people are willing to help when they could be just helping themselves. Like, this prejudice is so ingrained that when people saw a group of young black and brown people helping someone carry stuff out of their house with care, it did not evoke sympathy. People immediately thought, they're thugs, they're looters. And hearing this woman talk about how she may not have a place to live with her kids, people still wrote they're looters in the chat. There was no sympathy at all for this woman of her kids. There was no pride and no sense of community that was drawn from seeing all these people rally together for her. Surely these people live in the area, and they probably need to figure out what they need to do with their own homes, with their own families. The fact that seeing this woman needing help, her brother organizing this, did not trigger or evoke any sympathy for you guys, like none at all. Since this fire started, I've seen nothing but political agendas and outside judgment pushed on California. There are so many California haters. There are so many Newsom haters. There are so many people who just can't stand California and creating content based off of California sucks, you should move right now. And while our city is going through it, it's not even half. It's a very small portion of it in the grand scheme of things, because we have our city is huge. There's so much misinformation about California itself, yet these people are still fixated on it. They can't wait to talk about it. Like, the obsession with Los Angeles and California is unhealthy at this point. There are people who are rooting in the comments, burn it down, burn it down. What? I understand where this nastiness comes from, that it really has more to do with you than it has to do with us. So this video wasn't really just about, like, you know, correcting misinformation. It was really about recognizing the humanity in our neighbors and people that are coming together, because whether you guys see it or not, there's a sense of community that we feel right now that we haven't felt in a long time, especially with this election. Like, there are a lot of people going through some really devastating stuff, and ultimately the average person here feels sympathy for their fellow citizen. You guys can say what you want to, create your content, write your posts, do your clips, and try to turn this into, you know, a situation that's worse than on top of what it actually is. But what we feel here is different from what you guys are projecting. That's all I wanted to say about that. There's a lot of misinformation, and I just want to get it out there. That's what we're doing for the next few days, so be it. Take care.
Saying, hey, get up, get up, get up. And I just laid there because I'm used to going through tragedy living in California 30 years, right? But I just took it for granted. And then at 3:35, she said, we got to go. We get out at 3:35 this morning. We're driving down the street. We pass a fire about half a block away from our home. And when we passed that fire, I'm nervous because the fire hadn't gotten west of Lake, and we're west of Lake. We come back about 8 o'clock, and we see that everything has burned up. The house is totally engulfed in flame. The car, it's gone. The trailer, it's gone. Everything is gone. And I didn't take it serious, so I didn't grab anything because I'm like, okay, we're gonna be all right.
I'm trying to figure out how to tell my 3-year-old that we don't have a home, and we don't have a school. We don't even know where to go, what to do next. We're staying at a friend's house. You know, that's all short term. Just wanted to see if anything's left. We had everything, like the sentimental things. Like, my mom passed away. I had only a few things of hers left. My wedding dress, our wedding album. We left everything. Our albums, we have just whatever we're wearing. We're wearing the same thing for the last 2 days. My heart is broken.
Didn't want to evacuate. He's been living here since 1968. He bought this home. And he's been an Altadenian my whole life, and this is all I've known was this house. I came home to this house as a child, and he built that pool in the back. There was no pool, and he worked at Lockheed Martin in Palmdale. He was an engineer project manager for 45 plus years.
You say he refused to leave. Did he believe he could fight this fire?
No, he didn't think the fire, like all of us on this block and for blocks, didn't think it was going to be this devastating. We didn't think it was going to come this fast. It jumped over a whole park, and then it came here. It jumped over whole streets, and it hit this community, but it didn't touch the mountainside at all. And so he didn't think it was going to be that bad.
So he was inside when the fire engulfed his property?
And sleep in his bed, where he still is right now, as I wait on the corner.
Is it possible for you to describe for us what it is to hear news that you've lost your father in these circumstances?
No words. I have no words to explain my feelings at this point in time. I'm just silent and numb and just mentally trying to go through the process.
Tell us about your dad. How will you remember him?
Every laugh, every joke he had. He was a smart man. He read the LA Times every day from cover to cover. And walked around the Rose Bowl every day, 5 days a week. He was healthy, he was ambitious, to the day that he went to sleep and died in his bed back there.
Kimiko, we're really sorry for your loss. Thank you for taking time to talk to us.
I really appreciate it.
Our outdoor kitchen, and we have stuff in the refrigerator. Lonnie's gonna see if he can open up the refrigerator and maybe we can get some drinks out of there. Water, or I don't think there's any champagne or tequila. Is any of my champagne in there? No. No? Okay. Well, maybe we got some water or... Oh my God, look at that.
We got stuff.
We got drinks, look at that. We
We
saved some drinks. Woohoo! Oh my gosh. Homeless. Our childhood.
For real.
It's all good.
This is my whole life.
I know, it's all good. Both of our lives. We lived there our whole lives.
I know.
You can see what's left of my daughter's car seat.
Cleanest it's ever been.
Ha ha ha, you're so funny. There's nothing.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old, that they've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California. And they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre. My parents are in Sierra Madre, but...
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Yeah, I snuck here. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail. That's fine.
It is unbelievable what's happening here to the neighbors. Your parents' house is still standing. You had a hose. You're doing what you can.
I mean, I have a hose. It doesn't compare to these beloved neighbors that I've known. I was born and raised in this house, and I live in Sierra Madre, and I'm now 62 years old. And this is the house I was born and raised in, and I've never moved out of Pasadena, Sierra Madre, Hastings Ranch.
Well, let me tell you, it does help for people who aren't here to know what's happening. So you sharing that story, it does a service. I came up to you without even asking your name.
My name is Lynn Levin Guzman. This is the Levin household. I'm a nurse for over 30 years in emergency room. I deal with fire all the time and firefighters. And this situation here, luckily people got out because those are my patients. The people who are not so fortunate to get out.
As you mentioned, let's just hope everyone's okay. Lynn, I'm going to let you get back to it. And for you taking the time, we thank you. To your parents, we wish them the best as well. As I send it back to you, there's Lynn again with the hose. She's using a garden hose, getting the awnings, getting the roof of the house, doing anything she can. We say that as the embers are blowing directly on us here in the Upper Hastings Ranch community. She's here, her brother's here, and you know that there's let me tell you, the majority of the homes in this community are still standing. We drove past many on the lower side that are still standing, but the night is young.
Absolutely, a long way to go, and a courageous woman at that. And she does bring up a great point that we should talk a whole lot more about, and that is the fact that so many people are now uninsured when it comes to a fire.
What did you love and lose in the fire?
I lost everything. From a guy with everything to nothing. I spent my whole life helping people, and I didn't think it would happen to me.